Welcome to The Digital Shift. We are your hosts, Jessica Green
and Natasha Roberson. Together, we are here to help you build a tech-savvy empire and take your business to the next level.
If you're an entrepreneur, social marketer, or business owner, ready to scale smarter, not harder, this is the podcast for you.
Every week, we bring you expert insights, actionable strategies, and the latest trends to help you infuse tech into your business so you can automate, optimize, and grow.
From mastering automation and creating high-converting systems to building authentic customer connections, we cover everything you need to shift your business into higher gear.
So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and get ready to make your digital shift.
Let's do this.
Hello, welcome everyone back to The Digital Shift. I'm Natasha Roberson here, and we have Jess Green here. We are back together for our episode. You get us twice a month, right? Together. And so I'm really excited today. I get to interview this amazing woman, expert in the topic we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about one of the most impactful steps in building a brand. How many of you guys want to know more about building the brand that's going to take your business from where you are to go? This is who you want to be learning, okay? But this is not just about brand. It's not just about those colors. It's not just about the fonts, right? That's what I thought it used to be. It was just those things. That's way bigger than that. But defining your customer app. So if you want to create a brand that truly connects with your audience, this episode is for you. So Jess, welcome. We're going to just dive right into this topic because I think we have a lot to talk about on this. So I want to ask you, just to kind of get us started in context, is why is defining a customer avatar such a critical step in building a brand? That's the step I know I skipped, but why is it so critical?
I think I skipped it a lot too. So let's be honest. A lot of what we teach is because of the mistakes we made. So if you're on here and you're like, uh-oh, that's okay. Natasha and I have been there. We've made the same mistakes. We've learned from them. And we've taken a lot of personal development and business development over the years and have decided that we needed to make some adjustments, right? Things work or they don't work. And then you start to figure those out. And with the experience that we have of 15 years each in network marketing as social marketers, on top of all of our other business experience, you learn very quickly in that environment what works and what doesn't work. Because you're going to throw a bunch of stuff on social media and it doesn't work, right? Like crickets. So over so many years, we've dug a little deeper and figured out what does work. And there's usually a common denominator. And when you have a very strong brand presence and you know who you're talking to, you have more people that attract to you versus you having to chase people. So that's one of the main important reasons to have it. And I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I used to think that brand was colors and fonts and logos, right? And that is part of it. And I will tell you extremely important parts of it, which we'll leave for another episode to talk about colors and brands and fonts and all of that. We really want to kind of stick to the customer avatar part of your brand today because it is the step that most people skip. They start with, let me get my logo figured out and my colors and my fonts, and they skip the important part of which is actually going to attract the people.
I figured out, and I remember I had a mentor on this, you guys, like the things that you learn, right? They're like, all right, what brand colors? Is this the logo you want to go with? Is this the fonts? And I'm like, yes. He goes, all right, you're ready to start your business. And I was like, and I jumped right in. And let's just say I had to figure this part out where it's figuring out that customer avatar. And then what I know, I realized, Jess, and I want to talk a little bit about this too. I know we'll get into it, but like your avatar allows you to show up with your brand voice, your messaging, and how you grow your business. Like I never knew how massive important that was. So can you start us off by just explaining what a customer avatar even is? For those listening, they're like, I've heard it, I've never heard it, I've heard it, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. And why is it so foundational to them building their true brand?
We hear all of these terms out there nowadays. It's find your niche, pick your customer avatar, pick your ideal customer persona. Those are all kind of meaning the same thing, in the big picture. So your customer avatar is picking out all of the characteristics of the person you're actually trying to sell your product, service, or opportunity to. The ones you're creating, I'll say it differently, the ones you're creating a solution for. We're all out there trying to solve problems. If we understand this correctly, we're all out there actually trying to solve someone's problem, whatever that problem may be, based on the products that you can help them with. So what we're doing is going out there and trying to figure out what the certain aspects are of the person that we're trying to solve that problem for. And there's lists of things that you can go through so that you can really zone in on that. And one of the biggest things I have found just with the network marketing piece, and then that can bleed into social marketing as well, influencer marketing, we were always taught to cast a wide net. And you could do that when you weren't utilizing social media and social platforms. Let me date myself for a second. But when I started in the network marketing space, social media wasn't a thing, right? So like you didn't have to really think about your ideal customer avatar because you were going to try to meet people at Panera or Starbucks and draw on the back of a napkin your plan or tell them about your product. And you were just happy to have a warm body in front of you to talk to that might seem interested. So casting a wide net in that term worked back then. But when you're moving yourself to an online space, you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of people at your fingertips very quickly. You have to zone in on the person you're looking for. So creating that avatar. And I always say this too, like I have my avatar actually printed out on a piece of paper as like a portrait behind my computer screen. So as I'm creating things, this is just a little tip. As I'm creating things, I'm always keeping that person in mind. So that is your avatar, the person you want to speak to very specifically about your product, service, or opportunity that's going to solve a problem for them. So let's define who that person is and get an actual picture of that person in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And spinning off of that, how specific should one get with that?
Extremely specific. So when we talk about avatar and niche, let's talk about the characteristics of an avatar that you want to have down. And we'll, as a little bonus here to this episode, we'll make sure in the links here that we give them the customer avatar worksheet that I give people in our full branding course that we have. But I'll give you just the worksheet for your avatar. For figuring out your avatar. So you want to go through and answer all these questions. And while it might seem redundant through this worksheet, answering all of those will really help you key in. So super important to laser focus because we don't want to talk to everyone. We want to talk to the person who already wants and needs our product because you can do that when you're using social media platforms. And so your initial question is like, why is it so important to get specific? Like, how specific do you need to get? So when you're out there talking about your product, service, and opportunity, if you keep it broad and talk to everyone, then you really have to scratch and claw and pull for those leads to come in. If I go out there in my brand voice and talk to my customer avatar when I'm out on social media or using my website or funnels, and that people come into that funnel, people come across my social media profiles, people see my reels or my content, and I'm talking to everyone, they skip past it. Oh, that's not for me. Oh, that's not for me. But if you are talking to me very specifically about the problem that's keeping me up at night when I put my head down on my pillow to rest, and you have a solution for that very specific problem, I'm scrolling through your content and I'm going, how did she know? How did he know that's what I'm suffering with? Well, because they did a really good job of defining their customer avatar so that voice that they're using to talk to you is talking to you specifically. And that is what literally will make the biggest difference in your marketing efforts out there.
You know, I would love for you to go just a little next step higher with that and go, let's give an example of how you would break down a customer avatar for a brand to find that brand.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. What could we come up with a product that would be something I could go off of? Let's just do weight loss. It's super easy. So many people in this space, right? So let's say I have a new weight loss product that I'm going to be out there selling on social media. I want to, and listen, there's a lot of different people who need weight loss. So you need to pick your avatar too. That's just as important as defining all the characteristics of the person, but you have to pick who you want to service. So like I may want to service hormonal women in perimenopause, or you may want to focus on somebody who's just had a baby and wants to lose weight. So make sure you pick who you want to go after. And that is exactly how specific we actually want to get. So if I'm telling you, listen, you've got a new weight loss product, who do you actually want to go after? I want you to pick that. And so this worksheet that we have will help walk you through. I want you to define the age, and the age should be as specific as like a 5-year window. You don't want to pick 30 to 50-year-olds. There's a lot of differences between me at 30 and me now almost 48. Okay. When it comes to losing weight at 30, I could just wiggle a little bit, change what I was eating for a couple of days, lay off the sauce for a week or two, and drop 20 pounds. At 48, none of that works, right? So that is exactly why you cannot market to 30 to 50 for your weight loss product. I'm not saying that you won't get 30-year-olds on your product. And I'm not saying if you're marketing to 30-year-olds that you won't get 50-year-olds on your product. But what you want to do is speak so specifically to the person that needs it. So let's take me as your ideal customer avatar. I'm 48 years old. So you're talking 45 to 50-year-olds within that, and then define some more characteristics. You can even define my education level, where I live, my demographics, and very specifically what my pain points are and what my goals are. So that the worksheet that you can download will give you so many more questions to answer. But let me just give you a few. Okay, so I'm 48, perimenopause, menopause era, right? Weight's a lot harder to get off at this point. And what happens is I go to bed at night and go, does my husband find me attractive anymore? Do my friends all think I'm fat? When I show up on social media, I look like I'm bloated. My face looks like I've eaten a big balloon. I have a vacation coming up. I have a wedding coming up. I have my class reunion coming up, and I don't want to look like the fat girl. Okay. Those are the things that are keeping me up at night. Those are the problems that you want to solve. Those problems are much different than a 30-year-old who's trying to just had a baby and is trying to fit back in her jeans. That's what's keeping her up at night. What's keeping me up at night are two totally different things, right? So that's what we mean by really diving in and defining your customer avatar. Figure out what are those little micro nitty gritty problems keeping your avatar up at night. So your avatar, 45 to 50 years old, graduated high school, maybe has a college degree. Fitness is important. Looking good is important. My pain points are I don't like looking fat. I want to show up to my high school reunion and look good. I want to fit into that swimming suit and have my husband find me sexy on the beach when we go on vacation. That's how much I want you to define. Because if you define that, and when you're out there putting your stuff out into the universe and you're talking specifically to me, if I come across your reel, let's say, because those are hot right now, and you're talking to me about that, rather than just in general, my product helps you lose weight, I'm going to come to you and ask you what your product is. There's hundreds of thousands of weight loss products out there. If you just peddle it as a weight loss product because you're trying to cast a wide net, I'm not answering you. I have no idea if you can solve my problem. You're talking to somebody that, your wide variety weight loss program, I know isn't going to work for me if it's designed for a 30-year-old. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've coached and mentored tens of thousands of individuals that need this exact thing. And over that time, I'm sure you've literally taught them from step 1 to step 100 of how to do this. What is like one of the biggest things that you can, like the one big advice as you're talking to somebody that has happened multiple times when they're sitting down to do their avatar, and you're like, just keep it simple. Like, how would you tell somebody but I don't know who my avatar is? And then they try to create something that's so not what they can even do copy about. How would you coach that and give that tip on?
In our space, a lot of the entrepreneurs that we help are people who are selling a product or a service, or they're a coach, or they're in network marketing or social marketing with a product, service, or opportunity. And a lot of times they are selling to their previous self. So if that is you, which is a lot of the time, think about who you were and what was bothering you, prior to getting the results that you have now from whatever product, service, or opportunity that you offer. So if you're, let's keep it on the weight loss, right? If you're somebody who got really great results from a weight loss product, go target that avatar because you have the story already. I'm 48. I have all of the hormonal imbalances of a 48 post-menopausal woman, and I struggle with certain things. And if this product helped me overcome those things, maybe along with some of your coaching or your protocols, then that's the first place to start. Don't try to go create some other brand image around something that isn't you. Now, said differently, if you are selling a product you wholeheartedly believe in, but it's not necessarily something that you struggled with, then diving in a little bit deeper and figuring out, who do you really like to serve? Figure that out first. Who do you like to serve? I don't really like to serve certain avatars, so don't service them. Go find someone that you actually enjoy helping. They seem to really love your service. You get joy out of solving problems for them. Start there.
Yeah, I love that. And just because we have a lot of entrepreneurs on here, network marketers, social marketers, who are also looking to build a team, we talk about the product a lot, but let's give an example of a business partner. Like, you want to get out there in the world and market to join my team. That's not going to work, but
No.
What would work?
Hey, let's pour a little sauce out for our homies right now. That did work at one time, okay? We could go out there on social media and be like, join my team, and everybody joined my team. So I just want people to know that you're not crazy. That did work at one time when social media really became a thing, and you could go out there and utilize social platforms to recruit people or sell your products. You could get away with a lot more because no one was used to being sold to like that. Think about it in that way. Like, telemarketing used to be a thing. I always laugh about telemarketing. Don't let me go down a rabbit hole about telemarketing. People get so offended by getting in their inbox now and sending messages and like, you're supposed to get to know somebody first. You're supposed to do this whole attraction marketing thing. I don't really think the telemarketers did that back in the day because there was no way to do that. So selling to someone changes over time based on the tools that we have at our disposal. So no, join my team doesn't work anymore, but it did at one time. So if you used to do that, you just have to adapt with times. This is what Natasha and I talk about all the time with the Self-Made Hub and infusing tech into your business to scale. What worked 5 years ago doesn't work today. What works today may not work in 5 years from now. So join my team was okay then. It is not okay now. So if you're out there, same advice, honestly, from a product to trying to recruit somebody to your team, I would be going out there and deciding. I had actually an upline in a network, one of my first deals in network marketing, that said, find out who's cruise worthy and go after them. Okay. And what that was her terminology of create your customer avatar of your perfect team member. Because if you think about cruises, no one wants to be stuck on a cruise ship with someone they don't like in a room that small, eating in I won't even tell you what we call those. We call them pig troughs because they're just gross. But that's what you're doing on a cruise ship. And so you don't want to pick somebody to go on a cruise with that you don't really like hanging around because you're going to be stuck in close quarters with them and trapped on a boat for 7 days. Okay. So find that person who's cruise worthy is just another terminology for defining your customer avatar when it comes to someone you want to recruit to your team. Also, find people you really like to help. So same advice about your product. Those people out there that you really enjoy working with. If you really enjoy working with women who are 20 years older than you, go help them. If you like mentoring women who are 20 years younger than you, create extra income and build a business with, go work with them. If you want to find people who are just like you, easy. Avatar now just became you. Who's easier to define than you? Same problems, yes, solved. When I got into network marketing, I got in because I was already selling their products and didn't realize it was network marketing, but there was an economic downturn in my business. My brick and mortar business was closing, and I now needed to figure out what my next move was to make money because I'm just an entrepreneur and I wasn't going to go work for anybody else. That was like, no way. So I then decided to go out and recruit a bunch more of me, and I did. Because I liked working with me and I liked the problems that I was solving for me. I was able to take my brick and mortar business that had failed and turn it around and go recruit a bunch of people that needed the same thing. They were entrepreneurial spirited. Maybe they had a business degree or some education behind them. They wanted more out of life. They maybe had once, this was another piece of advice I got from a network marketing mentor back in the day. The best network marketers are those who once had money, knew what that was like, lost it, and want it back. They're hungry. They know what they got, a little taste of what that's, and they want it back. So that was my avatar. And I knew that. And so I went and recruited that. So figure out who that person is that you like to help, why you like to help them, and were they once you, and you can solve problems for them now, and you'll nail it.
I love that. Like, in all these years, I have always listened, was coached on, heard lots of podcasts, and taught it myself about the product. And that's why I asked you about the business partner. We don't hear that often.
Yeah, it was actually was one of my strong suits in network marketing of why I did so well. I never led with the product, and most people do. And it is really what they teach you to do is lead with the product, default into the business. I felt the other opposite way. Let me go recruit the person I want to recruit to have on my team, because then we're all going to go have a lot of fun together, building business, making money. And if they don't want to join the business with me, I'll default them to the product because I love the product. So it's whichever way you want to do it. But going after the business builder was definitely what I liked doing the best.
I think that piece right there is going to help so many people that are listening, like so many people, because we don't think of it the same way, right? You just, oh, there must be another process. There isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't. So after they create their avatar, they're like rocking and rolling. How often should one revisit that customer avatar? And is there any red flags, signals, white flags going up where they should really look for and know it's time to update it and refine it? What's that look like?
Hey, it's plan, do, review, which we talk about all the time in our business model. What's working, what's not working, and what do we need to shift? So what's working is if you're recruiting people. What's working is if your product is selling. What's working is if you're going out there and putting it on social media and it's all working and you like who you're recruiting, you like who you're helping, you're getting them results. If none of that is true or there's pieces missing from that, then it's time to do a revamp of your avatar and make sure. And it could be that it's not your avatar that you've picked. You still may not have nailed down the brand voice behind it, which is a very key part of this. You can have your avatar nailed, but if you're still not talking to them, then it's still not going to do you any good. So it's plan to review every 90 days. What's working? What's not working? What do we need to adjust? Does it need to be the avatar? Does it need to be the way that I'm speaking to the avatar? And you know what? I'm going to say this because we just got this really great advice from Coach Fryer for our own purposes of social media stuff. Like we're really good at nailing the brand and the avatar. We're not always perfect at talking to them because social media and traffic isn't necessarily our MO. It's the tech piece behind it and building out all the other pieces. But he said to us the other day that social media is shifting. And I think Coach Fryer, you have a podcast interview with him. Maybe it's the next episode and maybe he shares a little bit of this on there. So I'm going to steal his thunder for a hot second. So he tells us the other day, when you're really out there talking to your customer avatar, you got to talk to them the way that they are envisioning their problem. You can't go out there like we know their pain points. And a lot of times we're just throwing solution out there when we're talking, throwing solution. Like one of ours is fear of tech. Great. We know that they're scared of tech, but we can't just go out there in all of our content and be like, are you scared of tech? You're scared of tech. You are scared of tech. If you're scared of tech, we have your solution. No, we have to go out there and talk to them like this. Is you're having multiple different technologies come across your social media feed. You're looking at all of them. You're not sure where to get started. All of them seem a little bit overwhelming. You're not sure where you're going to get your support from if you do get started in tech. And so you just stay stuck. You sit there and think, I'm never going to be able to do this. Those are the ways we have to actually talk to the avatar. We need to talk to them in their own voice. So it takes some work to define your customer avatar, get all of the demographics laid out. But then, little tip, go to ChatGPT and start talking to ChatGPT about your avatar and figure out how you should talk to them. What are some stories you can align with that your avatar is going to be like, oh my God, that's me. I got to contact them.
Yeah, so good. So obviously you're super passionate about keeping the messaging clear. We just covered that. And we're constantly refining how we speak, our brand voice, and keeping it laser focused. But how does knowing your customer avatar help you and crafting the messages that truly resonate. Walk somebody down that, like some examples. I think examples really scream to me like, oh, yeah, that's obvious that shouldn't work.
So help me understand the question just a little bit more.
Yeah.
You want me to walk through
Like
almost
that
like
clear messaging that we're like, all right, here's our avatar, here's the messaging, we're going to go speak to that person. But sometimes, myself included, on this journey of doing this, where I'm like, I'm confident I'm speaking to this person, but it's not working, and it's the messaging that I'm like, whoa, okay, somebody had to like show me like, why would anybody listen to you?
you know what, that worksheet where you're defining your customer avatar, I only gave you a couple of the top things off it. Define their age, define their gender, define their education level, define their pain points and their goals. That worksheet actually takes you through so many more things that you should be keeping in mind when you're talking to your avatar. So I would go, this is why it's so important to fill that out. And then I keep it right in my Google Drive, somewhere safe, somewhere easy to access, safe, and it's easy to access, that I can literally go and take that. Here's another tip. You chat GPT users out there, use it for the right reasons and it will 10x your business. Don't use exactly what it spits out to you so that you sound like a chat GPT robot. But man, it can really help you when it comes to nailing down the voice of your avatar and what you should be putting together as content. And then you take it and you make it your own words. But if you fill out this whole customer avatar and you store it in your Google Docs, every time you go to ChatGPT, you can go and copy that whole document, put it into your ChatGPT. Now, Natasha, we don't have to do this with our ChatGPT anymore because we've been talking to it for so long about our avatar and our services and what we do that we can just go start typing in, and our ChatGPT is already molded to us in our avatar, so it can spit out anything and everything. But as you're just getting started, and you're trying to refine that voice, you're constantly trying to refine that voice so that it understands exactly what you should and how you should be talking to your avatar. Tell ChatGPT, here's my avatar. Here's all the things about them because you have filled out the sheet. Here's what I'm trying to sell in this post, or here's what the messaging I'm trying to get across in this post. Help me with solving this problem for them. And it's going to spit out exactly what you need. Then read through that. Maybe you have to refine it a couple times to say exactly the messaging you're trying to get across. But man, I use that every time I feel like something isn't landing. Something's not landing. Let me go back to the drawing board. Let me go put my details back in there and let me ask it a different way and then try something else. And man, when you do find something that works, keep that, set it aside and be like, this worked. It actually captured. Now, this isn't what we're talking about today, but super important when you're out there putting this content on social media. If you're finding something isn't working, make sure you go back and see, hey, did I put a very strong, catchy hook or headline in my content? Did I give a call to action at the end to ask them to do something? Because just as important as the messaging and the branding in there and picking your ideal avatar is calling them out in that hook headline of no matter what kind of content, whether it's an email, whether it's an SMS, whether it's your funnel, whether it's a social media post. You need to capture their attention. You need to be talking exactly to your avatar, and you need to do something that is in their pain point and turn it around into something that hooks them in. Then they'll read because they've been hooked in. But at the end, if you're finding that you're not converting, make sure you're calling them to action. I find it crazy when I go out there and scour social media or someone's funnel, and that was great information. Confused people do nothing. Every avatar is the same. If they are confused, they will do nothing. So you have to tell them what to do next, which is that strong call to action.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's so good. And like my next question to you is, what was some pitfalls or things that they need to watch out for? You covered that, right?
Yeah.
You were just like, boom. I was like, she's already answered it. But one thing, just to close this loop, is how does one know that maybe they've casted just slightly too wide of a net versus right on?
Great question. You're constantly having to drag people over the finish line. If you are constantly having to your follow-up game, okay, fortunes in the follow-up, we talk about it all the time. We help people put their follow-up on automation so that it becomes a little easier, more automated. You can reach more people and do more with your time. If you are finding that you're having to follow up beyond that 5 to 12 zone before someone actually will convert, or you're not getting a whole lot of conversion out of your stuff, then you need to refine this. You're casting way too wide of a net. You are not talking to your avatar. You are not zoned in enough. And man, I've done some like mastermind coaching, 6-month coaching programs, 12-month coaching programs with entrepreneurs. And it is one of the hardest things to do is to think that you're cutting off a part of a market and not like, how do I say this the right way? People have a hard time really zoning in on their customer avatar, not because they don't know who they want to serve, but because they feel like if they zone all the way into a 45 to 50-year-old that has a college degree and does X, Y, and Z, is married with 2 kids, if you zone all the way in there, they feel like they're going to leave all the other people out. The 30-year-old who just had a baby, they know that their product can work for me and for them. So they feel like they need to have this wide net. But in all reality, you're not going to talk to the 30-year-old or the 50-year-old if you're talking to everyone. And so you'll find that you're having to like scratch and claw and follow up 17 times and talk them into your product. Rather than you putting content out there, those who have nailed it can put content out there and have people convert right into a customer without much effort.
Wow, yeah, that was good. Like, we need to take that little clip and throw it out in the world because it was so good. Okay, we know who our avatar is. We got our messaging going, and then because we are experts on the tech side of it, how do we then take that avatar and that we have attracted to us, right? We've attracted that, we've created that brand, we truly connect with them, and then how, like, what tools out there? Obviously, we're going to talk about the hub, but what is a big thing that you're like, man, now you get to go even deeper with that avatar and truly convert them into a lifelong fan?
I'm going to steal your thunder for a second, but it's really the system that you teach people the most on the hub that will take you define your customer avatar, you define the problems you're going to solve, get your membership to the hub platform. And we have a system called Social Sync that Natasha really heads up. And she has oh gosh, I don't know the name of it now, but it's like her 14-point conversion system. And she has a name for it now because we really needed to brand it because it's that powerful, where we can set up from, if you have your customer avatar nailed, you have the problem you're going to solve, you have the hub, you will crush it in your sales because we can you create the content speaking to your avatar, and all you have to do is ask them to comment a keyword below that content, and our system takes over. And Natasha helps you build this whole 14-point follow-up system that can go via DMs. It can go via email. It can go via text from our system. It's all built in. And she helps you with some templates, fill that information out based on your customer avatar and what you're trying to sell. And our system takes over for you. So when we talk about fortunes in the follow-up, you nail your brand and your avatar, deploy the hub, pick some keywords, go create your content, and our system's going to like do the work for you. Once you have it set up one time, then you can go out there and create thousands of pieces of content with a few different keywords and have this system that follows up 12 to 15 times for you over the course of 30 days to convert your customers. It's a cash printing machine for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you're like, we just came up with the name because I was like, we did, and I can't remember. But it is the conversion impact system. And reason I came up with that name is just because like our goal is to convert our avatar, our attracted individual to us. We want to convert them into getting results, whatever that is, whether it's results as a business partner, results with the product, results with technology, whatever our solution is. But we want to not only convert them, but we want to impact them. We want to impact them. So it's all about how can we elevate somebody from where they are to where they want to be. And that comes with follow-up, onboarding a 6 follow-up essentially to get them to those results, which is impacting them, number one, but also impacting you and your business. So the conversion impact system is that 14 touches over 30 days. If you go research any statistics of follow-up, you will find it takes 8 to 14 touches to convert somebody. Okay, 8 to 14 touches. We know who we're talking to. We've attracted them. We got the numbers coming in. We're into them over on social media. But now we need to go to that next level, right? I think about relationships, Jess. And as you can tell, I get super excited about this side of the business. But if I talk about relationships, if I'm just DMing somebody, They're not really close. I'm not close with them. Like, you're just an acquaintance. Actually, I don't even know if you're that. You're just a social media number, right? You're a follower, right? But as soon as I get somebody into email and now I'm emailing them, it's a stronger connection. It's more than a DM. But the moment I'm starting to text somebody, I know this person, or I'm getting to know this person. That connection is much higher. And we see all the time, they have this awesome business. Like, we can see the front end of the traffic and we're like, whoa, you found your avatar. You're talking to them. You got that figured out. And then we see the back end and we're like, whoa, you don't got that figured out at all. So that goes back to what you love to say. And I want to send it back over to you of, if you are the person listening to this and you're like, man, I have the front, I know who I'm talking to, I got all the traffic going. What do you love to talk about on that aspect?
Oh, don't get me on my soapbox. So I watched for years. One of my best friends is a social media strategist and a social media manager. She helps us with ours. But so she's always lectured me. We also did network marketing together on a team. I watched her blow it up on social media, get all these followers, and I watch all these people create all this content. We called it income producing activities, to go and dance in front of your screen doing TikToks and reels and all the things. And I was like, so now my team is not recruiting anybody. They're just dancing on TikTok, talking about the products or opportunity, but I'm not seeing their numbers go up. It drove me nuts. So they would all be like, income producing activities, go out and create your content for social media. And then everybody be talking about how many followers and likes and comments they were getting on posts. And I was like, but your numbers aren't going up. Like that, those numbers don't pay you. Your follower count, your comments, your likes do not pay you unless you convert them. Right. So I like bash my head up against a wall, like 5 times a day, watching our team numbers go down. Social media presence goes through the roof. They've got all these followers and it's all great. And their next lip syncing video was like going viral. And I was like, yay for you. I'm not going to do that. So I always felt, man, I'm not catching on to the latest trend. But as I was watching the numbers, what was trending was sales were actually going down, not up. And there was this overinflated idea that the follower count was going to equate to income. So fast forward, I've been literally trying to solve that problem for 2 years. Like, I have been talking about it until I was blue in the face and no one was really listening. And now people are finally starting to get it. You got to have a system on the back end that helps you convert all of those. Because when we were doing network marketing, let's say 15 years ago, and I was meeting people in Starbucks and Panera to try to recruit them, I didn't have 5,000 people watching a piece of content that were liking and commenting, maybe interested in wanting more information. So I could handle meeting one person at Starbucks a week or 2 people at Panera a week and having follow-up conversations. You could handle that, right? You could write that in a notebook or on an Excel spreadsheet and keep a follow-up system of that. When you're creating content in the masses, like what people are doing in this day and age, you're letting so much stuff slip through the cracks because you can't possibly keep that in a notebook. You can't possibly follow up with, let's say you create a reel and it goes somewhat viral. Let's not even say viral because I don't even want to make it sound like you have to have viral content for this. You don't. Let's say you have one reel, you have 100, 200 views on it. You've got some people liking it. You have some people commenting on it if you did a call to action appropriately. And then you have to follow up with, so let's say you get 100 comments on a really good piece of content. You get 100 comments. You got 100 people, eyeballs on you, super interested in what you're doing. What are you doing next? You now have to go and follow up with all those people. So you need to send them a message. And what did we just say? It takes 8 to 12 times to follow up with somebody to actually convert them into a paying person, customer, business builder, whatever. So now take those 100 comments and times that by 8 to 12 follow-ups for each one of them. You're going to do that manually? No. That's why people are falling through the cracks. That's why going and doing a dancing TikTok, lip syncing reel, whatever it is great, but you're not converting any of that because you don't have anything on autopilot. I told you it was a soapbox. You got me started on it. We're totally off the brand and avatar conversation.
But it's not, because here's where I take it back full circle. You figured out your avatar. I'm excited to learn more about what you have that's going to solve my problem. And then you ghost me?
Yeah. So then you ruin your reputation out there online about Natasha, how many times have we like, oh, we scour social media too. We're also consumers out there, and we'll find something and be like, ooh, awesome. They have a, hey, comment, whatever, blah, blah for this. And they're doing it all manually. And we can tell because as soon as we comment, no one gets back to you. And I'm like,
yeah, it's like nothing. I'm like, I kind of wanted that.
Yeah. How's that working for business? So if you're telling people, if you see everybody else out there going comment blah for more blah, and so you're like, ooh, I should do that too. If theirs is working, it's because they probably have the self-made hub and it's automated and they have an automation system behind there that's following up with all of those people. You cannot go out there and put comment blah and then not get back to people and not send them any messages. So if that's overwhelming to you, then you absolutely need to have a system that's going to help you with that.
And one last thing on this is thinking about our customer avatar, and it's that one person. But when you focus on that one person, what you find is it actually is a wider net that you didn't put out there, but your customers are a wider net. And so now you have all these people that you're working with, and you want to service them, right? You want to service, but how do you back of all that, right? You've done your job, you got the customer brand, you branded it, you got the messaging right. Now you got all these people coming in. And so one thing also with the Self-Made Hub is there is a CRM, and that might be a foreign language to these people listening to this. But what it is just a customer relationship management system, right? It's like, you got Susie Joe, this is what she's interested in, and this is what she loves, and this is what she doesn't love, and this is what we've sent her, this is what she's bought, this is what she hasn't bought. And now you can look at that and go, I know how to now even better talk to Susie Joe and show her exactly what we have that she's going to want, because we know who she is, each individual. 100%. And so if you guys are listening to this and going, man, I need to number one, work on my brand. I need to define my customer avatar, download. We're going to put the link wherever, above, below, to the side. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but you're going to have a link where you can go through the genius worksheet that Jess put together. It's going to help you define it. And now, man, we never had ChatGPT in the past. We had to just do the worksheet and figure it out. But now take that, put it into AI tools that are at your disposal to help you, not do it for you, but help you, guide you, and give you some really cool creative ideas to be able to speak that. And then once you got that down, right, this is steps. These are steps that you're going to go through. Once you have that, you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting my social media. Oh my gosh, things are rolling. I got 5 people talking to me. I got 10 people talking to me. Then you're going to want to head over, if not now, but definitely by then, you're going to want to head over to www.self-made.biz, grab your hub membership, and start collecting and building your list in a CRM where you know and can manage who you're talking to, what they're excited about. And not only that, automate your follow-up, because if you're attracting them, you're going to want to nurture to close them. And you don't want to do that manually any longer. There's no reason for it. Manual is like, I was saying before, I used to talk automations all the time, and they were like a luxury. People who did automations, it was like they were ahead of the game. Oh, that's cool, you do that, but it wasn't a necessity. Today's age, it's a necessity to have automation on the back end. Definitely grab your hub account. Let us not only show you one of the most simplest platforms that you could use, where it's all in one, but you get the mentorship, you get the strategy, you get our brains of 50 years of doing it wrong to doing it right. We can help fast track you to success, and it's a no-brainer there. But recapping before we close out, is there any last thing you want to share with our listeners today?
I would say get the worksheet. We're going to put that link below. I think it'll be below, like you said. It's all different platforms, so somewhere in here. You can always go to our website too and go to the podcast section and find the episode, and we'll have it in there. But you start with the worksheet. If you have never defined your customer avatar, don't just keep throwing content out there. Get the worksheet, put your avatar together and then go to ChatGPT and start figuring out how you can talk to your specific avatar and then go at your content again. That would be, if you could do one thing, I would do that.
I love it. I love it. So we hope today's episode gives you a very clear path to building your brand, your customer avatar, your message, your voice out there into the world that is going to deeply connect with the people you most want to serve. Remember that knowing your audience is key to creating the content, just like Jess said, knowing your products and messaging that is going to connect with those people that need your products or your service or your opportunity. But next week, you are going to want to be right back here, because if today's content blew your mind, next week is going to be another one, kind of different. But I mean, every single week I listen to our podcast, whether I'm interviewing or so you're not going to want to miss next week. Join us as we dive deep with Coach Fryer, and he's going to help not only give you some strategy behind your social media, but what's working now. And stop wasting time on the other things, right? And he's going to share all these strategies to help you scale with purpose. So with that, Jess, I think that's a wrap.
It's a wrap. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to The Digital Shift. We hope today's episode gave you the tools and inspiration to take your business to the next level.
Don't forget, we have something for everyone to help you scale smarter. Whether you're just getting started or ready to go all in, we've got you covered.
Start with 14 days of free access to the Self-Made Hub, our all-in-one platform to automate, optimize, and grow your business.
Looking for more? Check out our Self-Made membership, where you can work at your own pace with help from your tech-savvy mentors.
Or take it to the next level with our 10-week accelerator program, perfect for those ready to scale with expert guidance and systems all in one place.
And if you're looking for done-for-you options, from custom funnel builds to fully done-for-you marketing systems customized just for your business,
visit us at www.self-made.biz to explore all of our programs and tools and find the perfect fit for your business needs.
Let's make your digital shift a reality. See you next time.